halftime and listen to these guys halftime. And we get back and it's only audio only, right? Which I knew. That's why I didn't put it on to start with. And in Internet Explorer, nothing. And it says on the thing, go to your Chrome browser and work in Chrome. Go to
What's
Chrome,
this?
nothing.
What Celtic
Like
game was this? The
the
chat.
the the whatchamacallit, the Salzburg game. I'm
Aye,
just trying to
but
listen to something at halftime.
what was?
Nothing.
Aye, but
Absolutely zero.
they only had audio commentary, right?
I know. I was all trying to listen to audio at halftime because there's nothing to watch on TV
Well,
halftime
I
here.
watched the delay to be honest with you because I was working, and I actually managed to avoid the result. Actually, no, I
And
didn't. I managed to avoid part of the result because what happened was this is really weird. Where I was walking through my building in my condo block, they had a television set up and they had the Celtic game on. They actually had the Celtic game on in my
you're
condo
trying to
block.
not look.
And I walked past and I was like, that's Celtic Park. I was so excited to see a Celtic game on in my condo block. I looked at the score and seen it seen it was 2-0. So I was like, oh fuck. But another point is I in
And
my
I didn't say anything, did I?
you
Text
didn't. You're actually
messages.
pretty good. But in my condo block, a guy came out. There's a swimming pool in my block, and a guy came out the swimming pool or out the gym, and he had a Celtic towel with him. And I was wearing my Celtic scarf, and we looked at each other. And I was like, "Hail, hail, mate! Where you from?" Thinking he was an Irish guy or a Scottish guy that lived here. And he wasn't. He's Canadian, but he says both his parents are Scottish. So there's another Celtic fan in my block. I didn't have the time to talk to the guy, but I have to go and track the guy down and have a pint with the guy because it's always
Well, there you go.
like you know what it's like. I mean, see if you're in Glasgow and you see a guy with a Celtic shirt on, you're like, who cares? But if you see
Oh
a guy
yeah,
in the
it
middle of
happens all the
Toronto with
time.
a Celtic shirt on, you stalk him down 5 streets
Oh
to
yeah,
talk to him. You know?
yeah. A couple years ago, I was in California the day that Celtic won the league, and it was a 7 a.m. start on the East Coast. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm with Stacy. We're out in Napa. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Still have drunk from the night before, and Celtic win the game, and we go, whatever, win championship, and get up the rest of the morning, have breakfast, to put my Celtic top on, go to the airport, and I probably had 10 or 15 people say hail, hail, and all kinds of weird stuff to me, like, what happened today? What was the score? I didn't see the score yet. And but it happens everywhere I go, and whether I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm coming out of the elevator in Puerto Rico in San Juan in my hotel room, and we get down to the first floor, walk through the lobby, and there's a casino in there, and someone goes hail, hail, and I'm like, okay, cool. Stacy freaks out. She's like, it's like no matter where we go, as soon as you put the top on, people know exactly what it is.
It's,
So
it's
it's actually pretty funny.
a worldwide Tim parade, and it's always nice to meet Celtic fans. But yeah, no, it's annoying because I had a I went and got like a takeout. I had Thai food with me, so it was getting cold, and I had to wait ages on it, and I had to walk back home with it. So I was on a rush to like get up to my flat to eat it, and didn't have time to talk to the guy, and he was obviously in a rush as well. But no, I'll have to try and look out for that guy and have a wee drink with him. But yeah,
There
always
you go.
good. So anyway, let's move on to our top five of the week. What are your top
Yep,
five?
top five. Obviously, for me, the top one is Astros win over Zagreb. That was nice.
They were due a result,
Um,
so cheers,
that was a good
guys.
result. Yes, thank you, appreciate it. Ambrose getting a little bit of confidence back. That to me is going to be important. I really want O'Connell to finally get some time, but we'll see what happens there. It was good to see Liam Henderson, by the way, on the bench today.
Was he? I
Um,
didn't see
yeah,
that.
he's on
Good,
the bench today.
good man,
Yeah.
good man.
And then the next one was obviously the win today, and Ligam actually red card. That was actually nice for once. Why they took away Commons' goal, I have no idea still. And then my other top one would be obviously the early Christmas present over at Ibrox. So
We'll get back to that. I'll run through mine. It's just quickly is Mir Beaton, so he was a big positive. Bruni's on the form at the moment. That's another positive as well.
oh, I know, right?
Um, then we've got the throughout the cup. So well, my next 2 points are together really. Throughout the next round of the cup, which is good, obviously in the League Cup as well. And we've got European football past Christmas. So we're top of the league. We're in the League Cup semi-final. We're in the next round of the Scottish Cup, knocking out Hearts, who are a reasonably tricky tie, and we've got European football past Christmas. So that's great. And the number one thing is Craig White. It's a Craig White Christmas.
Oh,
Free the Mexico one. Now,
can you believe
technically,
it?
we try not to talk about Sevco on this podcast at all, but technically, Craig White isn't anything to do. So I can't even say that with a straight face. I was going to say Craig White's got nothing to do with Sevco. That's hilarious. No, Craig White technically was involved with Rangers, who died, so we can talk about him. So that's the question of the week. we'll put out Craig White's back. And we're going to have a lot of hilarious nature, a lot of hilarious content coming out of Ibrox soon. Because apparently Craig White taped all his phone calls. And that's obviously going to go to court.
It's going to be interesting. You think about it. There is no extradition from one foreign country to your home country usually takes a lot longer than 48 hours.
Yeah.
So from the time it was reported that he was found, he obviously doesn't want to be some type of fugitive in the UK. So he knows for a fact that he's got something.
Did you hear where he was hiding?
No, I knew he was Mexico. That's all.
Yeah, it was Juarez's house, apparently.
Get out! Oh, get out of here! It
wasn't really, but it would have been great if he was.
Well, you know why? Because of all the male strippers
or male women strippers.
Male women strippers that he had the last time. Oh gosh!
Question of the week from this show should be, right? Should we discuss the Craig White situation when it all comes about? Do you want to hear about it, or is it something we should ignore? By talking about Craig White, we are in no way whatsoever acknowledging Sevco as Rangers or as our rivals or any of that shite. So, first question.
It's just happening.
Yeah.
It's like us talking about Thanksgiving.
We could have a special where
can we
should we do a special where we just talk about
We can. But can we make one point about him? The one thing I don't want him to I mean, obviously, we were sending him a message, Agent White, come home, your job is finished. If that's the case, I have no problem with that. The issue I don't like that's out there that I don't like when we talk about him is, listen, let's understand something. And Paulie basically said this on Twitter the other day, and I agree with him 100%. Let's understand he shouldn't be celebrated. He would have tried to fuck Celtic over as much as possible. If he had actually made Champions League in the 20 million pounds, he'd still be there. And they would, you know what I mean? He would have taken every opportunity to fuck the shit out of us, even if it was just for money.
It was just so comedy, the whole thing. It's hard not to laugh when he had the fucking, was it the porn baron as his accountant or business advisor and all this, where it was just you couldn't have wrote it.
It's ironic.
You couldn't have wrote it any better than it was. So maybe we'll put it out there. Do you want to talk about the guy or not? Maybe we'll have just like one podcast special where we just have a wee look over at Ibrox and have a recap a couple of years on about the whole thing. So we'll maybe do that. But here's the actual proper question of the day. Since we played Hearts are cruising the Scottish Championship at the minute, are probably going to get promoted. See when they come up to the Premier League, will they be the new Huns? Because one, they paid their debts in administration, okay? So they actually have all that history against Celtic. Secondly, they are the last team away from the old firm to actually have a crack at the title. Where people, like the BBC, have got an absolute boner for Aberdeen. And Aberdeen, the sleeping giants of Scottish football and all this pish. One of the reasons that is I used to work at the BBC. Everyone there supports Aberdeen. There's so many Aberdeen fans there, it's unreal. So it's probably part of the reason why they always go on about them. Aberdeen are not going to challenge Celtic for a title. Derek McInnes is a joke of a manager. The amount of money they're spending to what they're actually achieving is pathetic. Could Hearts be the team that challenge Celtic? They've got a good setup in their Craig Levein isn't a great manager. However, he's a smart enough guy to put together a good football team. And I think once they get up to the Premier League, I reckon they're going to be the team that have a crack at Celtic. I don't think they'll challenge to the last day of the season, but I think they will be their main competitors. And I think they're going to eclipse Sevco as they will be the second team in Scottish football.
That may be the case, but I don't see them challenging us in any way, shape, or form. The problem that you have is consistency, and that's the reason why Aberdeen, may play well against us, or the reason why, Hearts may play well against us. But as far as us winning when we're not playing well, that's something that those teams have to do.
No, I don't think
they have the quality to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they have the quality now, but I think in a couple of years' time they'll be the side that probably will finish second. Out of all the teams, they've got more upside than any other team right now. Where you've got Aberdeen, I just don't see it from Aberdeen at all. Hibs are a joke in the first division. Looking at all the other teams, I mean, the Motherwells, absolutely nowhere. St Johnstone's have got a good setup, but they're just not a big enough club. Partick Thistle are never going to do it. Inverness and Ross County aren't going to do it, I really think it will be Hearts that will emerge out of all this in a couple of years' time when all the dust settles and the Sevco
Yeah.
thing and all that. I reckon it will be
But
Hearts.
let me ask you this. Okay, let's say they are, and does that call out for us going trying once again looking at this European thing? I mean, is it something you know trying to push
It's
onward with
it's
if we're not going to find anyone to go ahead and challenge us for the next 20 years?
European football and European Super League or Atlantic League has been on the cards since about 1995, and
No,
it's
I'm not. No, 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 that's not my
not
point.
happening.
That's not my point. My point is it something that you try
Right?
you charge? Is something you try and do?
Nah.
Because that's going to lead to the next question I have. Today's Jagan or Yaldi. You ready?
Okay.
Madrid just got a new sponsor,
Yep.
the Abu Dhabi Bank.
Yep.
Okay, on their new
Crest.
credit card, the crest on their credit card had the Christian cross removed. Now that card also is not just a credit card; it's also their membership card. Now the question I have for you is, they did it because they took the money, right? My question for you is, let's say we do get into some European League thing. Do you trust the PLC? Do you trust Lawwell to take the money and not change Celtic?
I think the thing that would probably change is they'd sponsor the stadium, so it'd have a stadium name, like the Magners Arena or whatever they call it. Where I've said in the past, I don't have a huge problem in doing that because Celtic Park has so many different names. Parkhead, Celtic Park, Paradise, where it doesn't really have enough, like, people don't refer to it as the official name. So they're always going to refer to it as whatever they want to refer to it as. It could be the T-Mobile Arena or the Vodafone Stadium. We'll just call it Celtic Park. You know what I mean? So if it
No,
puts
I get
money
it,
into the
but
club,
that's my question for you, though. I mean, do you trust those guys to do what they're supposed to do? Do you trust them with the overall long-term love of the club? Do you trust them with the history? Do you trust them with all that stuff? I mean, do you
well, they're
trust
not going
them
to
to
change
not
the
go all
history of the club. They're
You,
not going to
well,
change
you
the
listen.
badge.
You can say that, but I mean, it still changes. I look at Vincent Tam. Look what he's done. I mean, the people down in Cardiff wanted the big money. They wanted the big game. They wanted everything, and now he
Aye.
comes in. Now
The difference
he
is though,
changes the colors of the club. Is
Dr.
the
J,
crest?
our controlling shareholder, or the biggest shareholder that we have, is Dermot Desmond, an Irish guy who's a legitimate billionaire who we make fun of him for supporting Man United. He does support Celtic. I mean, he knows Celtic, he knows Celtic history and that. The concept of him changing the Celtic badge or changing the Celtic strip, it's never going to happen. The one thing that's unique about Celtic, and if we joined the English Premiership, what have we said online? The thing that sets us apart from Manchester United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, Aston Villa, all these teams is our unique history, our charity history, history of our club, and also the fact that we have a very cool shirt that is easily marketable in North America.
And if Abu Dhabi Bank came in and said, "Hey, listen, get rid of your
Never,
Christian markings,"
never, never. It's
okay,
never going to happen.
listen. You think the people at Real Madrid thought the same way?
Real Madrid are in a battle against Barcelona for supremacy, and they would sell their granny. It's a different situation. It's never going to happen at Celtic. Not with the current people that own the shares. It's never going to happen. And remember, a huge amount of our shares are owned by Celtic fans. So,
Yeah.
well, technically, they're also owned by Celtic fans because that's what happened. But don't know. Anyway, we got anything else to talk about this week?
Nope, that's basically it. Just the last, just that's our jog on a Yaldi for the week because we've covered everything else today. So
Joke on. Just a
pretty
short
good.
show today. We're going to try and get
Short
some.
show.
We're going to try and do some different stuff in the show in the next couple of weeks. We're going to hopefully have Chris Long on the show for a bit of a chat at some point, and towards Christmas we're going to try and get a wee Christmas special on the go and get some different people on as well. So it won't just be us talking pish. We'll try and get some other people on to put in some new stuff as well. So it's good. But anyway, hail from me.
Hello, everybody. Great. How can you say this? Great way to blow past Hearts today. It was a nice little way to end the weekend. Good holiday.
Good holiday. So a great Thanksgiving and time for a green and white Christmas.
Yes.
Hail.
Hello, everybody. Take care.